In our shop, a high-mileage truck rolls in for basic service, not a rescue. No dealer hype, just truth. 7 cheaper trucks we trust to stay reliable. We rank by total cost, stranded risk, and what stays simple to keep alive. Number 1 is the quieter pick that saves real money for years today. Number 7, Chevrolet S10 or GMC Sonoma, late 90s to early 2000s. This pick is cheaper because it is an older school, not because it is fragile. That small truck label scares people off, and that is your whole cheaper advantage. We like it because it stays simple and practical, and it fits work and daily life. In the shop, we see high miles that look scary, yet they still start daily. Here is the real budget moment. A buyer wants a newer midsize, feels safety pressure, and gets anxious. We pull up listings, the prices look brutal, and the mood turns stressed fast. Then we walk him past the shiny stuff and point at a cheaper S10 with records. One test drive later, he is calmer because it feels solid and predictable. We talk a simple plan, fix basics, and keep control steady. Subscribe so you never buy the wrong car again. On reliability, the layout is simple, and that matters when money gets tight. The engine bay has room, so routine service stays easy, not knuckle pain. Parts are everywhere and cheaper because these trucks were sold for years. Alternators, pumps, sensors, door latches, all common and available. When something breaks, we fix it quick, and we keep moving. For engines, the 4-cylinder works for light duty, and it is usually cheaper to feed. But the 4.3 V6 is the workhorse choice for towing and payload. It makes torque you down low, so the truck feels relaxed, not strained. Paired with a basic automatic or manual, it stays predictable to own. No fancy modes, no fragile turbos, just proven hardware doing regular work. Now, the downside, it is not quieter, and it is not plusher. Road noise is normal, and the cabin feels dated because it is older. But we would rather hear noise than pay a luxury repair bill. If you want a tool that lasts, this trade feels smarter and safer. Price-wise, these trucks sit in a cheaper, smarter pocket that rewards patient buyers. For the same cash, a worn crossover may look modern, then hit you with annoying repairs. Leaks and electronics can stack up, and the math turns painful and costly. The S10 and Sonoma stay undervalued and cheaper because the market calls them basic. Good, basic, and simple are what keep it alive on a real budget. Here is our checklist, and yes, it blocks serious, painful bills. First, check frame rust and cab corners for serious damage in salt-heavy areas. Look at brake lines and spring hangers for hidden damage, because that ends deals. Next, feel the transmission. Smooth shifts, no flare. Stay consistent and calmer. Then test the front end. Feel the steering play, and listen for clunking knocks over bumps. Loose steering feels scary and dangerous, and it hints at hard neglect. Check coolant color, dried residue, and fans that never cycle to normal. Overheating can warp parts, and that repair gets brutal and costly fast. Finally, watch the tires, mismatched sets, and chopped tread signal mystery history. If you want more payload with simple fixes, number 6 is the compact workhorse buyers still undervalue. Number 6, Ford Ranger, cheaper, proven, reliable. It is cheaper because buyers call it small, not because it is fragile, and that label keeps deals available while the hardware stays proven. We like it when a truck has simple packaging and basic wiring because that keeps ownership reliable. In the mid-2000s into the early 2010s, you can find a proven 4-cylinder with a normal manual or a simple V6 with a normal automatic, and those setups dodge costly surprises. You are not paying for luxury screens, and you are not paying for extra modules that fail when you need the truck most. That is why these trucks feel like a smart tool, not a trendy toy, and the running cost stays friendly. Last week, a landscaper rolled in with 200,000 plus on the clock, and he looked stressed, like the truck was about to get condemned. We did our basic routine, cold start, idle check, then a drive over bumps, because that is where damage speaks. Back in the bay, we checked ball joints, tie rods, and wheel bearings, because front-end wear is common on work trucks. It needed joints, pads, and fresh fluids, nothing weird, and that is the reliable payoff of simple design. He expected a brutal total, but the estimate was reasonable. So he stopped doom-scrolling listings and chose repairs. When a truck earns its keep, that kind of day feels like a winner moment and pure relief. For extended mileage, we lean toward the simple 4-cylinder trucks because less weight means less strain on tires, brakes, and bearings. You still get useful bed space, but you buy smaller rubber and cheaper pads, so the total cost stays cheaper year after year. The systems are basic, so you see fewer costly surprise electrical hunts compared to newer pickups packed with extra modules. If it has the bigger V6, verify cooling stays stable, because overheating turns into expensive trouble. Watch the temperature on a long hill, then check for coolant smell when you park, because small leaks become major pain later. And because so many were sold, parts are plentiful, and labor stays quicker at most shops. We help you get the best car deals, so subscribe to our channel so you never miss the next video. Here is the market trap. The same cash can buy an older full-size V8 that looks tougher, but it hides costly damage and burns fuel like a hobby. We would rather own a Ranger that is cheaper to run and more reliable. Checklist. Look at cab corners and bed supports for rust. Check the frame near cross members and watch for undercoat that hides serious corrosion. On the drive, confirm the shift feel stays normal and smooth, because sloppy shifts point to expensive work. If it has four-wheel drive, verify actual engagement and confirm the indicator matches the feel. If you want a truck that feels bigger and stronger, number 5 is next, and it is cheap for a silly reason people keep repeating. Number 5. Dodge Dakota, cheaper, proven practical. It is cheaper because people repeat old Dodge jokes, not because every Dakota is doomed, and that stigma keeps deals available. In the early 2000s, this midsize hit a practical sweet spot, more truck than a compact, but easier to live with than a full-size. You will see simple V6 models and V8 versions, and when they have records, the drivetrain stays proven and the upkeep stays reliable. We rank them well because the parts supply is common and the fixes are known, so a good one can run extended without drama. That matters when you are paying cash and you want total costs to stay predictable. A buyer came in chasing a half-ton, then the payment quote landed, and he looked nauseous because the note was going to be painful. We pointed at a stock height Dakota with clean fluids and boring receipts, and the math got cheaper and clearer in a hurry. On the drive, he felt the steering weight, and you could see relief and calmer breathing replace the panic. He wanted a truck that could haul weekend hardware, and this one did it without the brutal monthly payment punch. We told him the rule: buy condition and service history. Then the truck stays trusted. He nodded because he finally saw a plan that did not require luck. Reliability here is practical choices, so we prefer these simple setups with normal automatics and no weird add-ons. We skip overheated tow rigs, hacked lifts, and neglected cooling systems, because overheat damage turns into expensive rebuilds. The good ones reward you with common parts, reasonable labor, and fewer surprise bills at independent shops. Front-end wear is the big watch item, so if the steering feels loose, treat it as serious and dangerous, not a later problem. Listen for clunks over bumps, then look at tire wear, because that story shows neglect fast. When you keep fluids fresh and fix small things early, the ownership stays reliable and the budget stays stable. Value-wise, it sits between a compact and a full-size, so you get more bed and more stance while running cheaper. Compare it to the same money trucks with extra features and more failure points, and the Dakota starts to look smarter. Checklist: start with the front suspension, ball joints, tie rod ends, and confirm the tires wear evenly, because hidden damage shows up there. Shift test from park to drive should be quick and smooth. No delay, no slam, because that points to expensive work. Underneath, check rear leaf spring shackles, hangers, and frame edges for rust, and watch for paint hiding serious corrosion. Finish with cooling health, steady temperature, and clean oil history. Then you are ready for number 4, which looks modern, feels stronger, and stays proven for a reason. Number 4. Nissan Frontier, proven reliable value. It stays cheaper because it stayed the same for years, and that is proven value you can feel. While others stacked features and sensors, this one stayed simple, so fewer gremlins get to ruin your week. In our shop, one rolls in with big miles, and nobody is sweating a tow bill or a dead payday. The owner asks for basic fluids, a quick look for leaks, and a routine brake check. Nothing dramatic. That calm pattern matters. Reliable trucks show up for service, not for panic, and we see it again and again. The heart we like is the 4.0 V6 with the 5-speed automatic, and it is a worker combo. It is not chasing numbers, it is chasing long-term life. So it stays strong without feeling stressed every mile. For you, that means predictable upkeep, cheaper parts, and fewer computer says no moments that feel brutal. You change oil, you keep coolant clean, you service diffs, and the truck keeps earning its spot in your driveway. And because the design stayed consistent, parts interchange is solid, so fixes stay quicker and less expensive. Parts stay plentiful, repairs stay cheaper today. Now we stay honest. The cab is not the quietest, and the ride can feel trucky on cracked pavement. But the frame is durable, the drivetrain is reliable, and that is what matters when this is a workhorse. If you want silent luxury, you can buy it, but you will also buy extra modules and warning lights later. Here is why the market misses it. People hear midsize, and they assume weak and cheaper. So the price sits lower even when the truck is proven, and that gap becomes your savings. Same money buys a crossover with features and screens, then one glitch turns the quote into a painful surprise. Frontier keeps the running math simple, and the total cost stays friendly for real-life owners. Checklist time, and this is where we protect your wallet with simple steps and proven habits. Start with the transmission dipstick or service report. The fluid should look clean and smell normal, not burnt. Check the coolant condition, because some trucks had radiator issues that can mix fluids and turn everything milky. If you see foam, pink sludge, or weird film, walk away. That is a costly gamble you do not need. While idling, watch temperature behavior. A steady gauge is reliable. A wandering gauge is a warning. Underneath, look for rear axle seepage, wet pinion areas, and any fresh spray patterns on the chassis. On the road, feel for vibration under load, because worn joints become expensive when you ignore them. Do tight circles in a lot? Listen for binding, and confirm the transfer case stays smooth, not clunky. If it has four-wheel drive, test high-range engagement, then low-range response. Both should feel positive. No flashing lights, no grinding, no delays, because almost works becomes painful when winter hits. Then check for heavy use, smash skid plates, and hitch wear, because abuse leaves clues. Off-road fun is fine, but repeated impacts can hide damage in mounts, brackets, and steering parts. Look at tire match and wear. Mismatched sizes can stress driveline parts and create annoying shakes. Grab the front tires and feel for play. Loose ball joints and tie rods are common, but they should be priced in. On a test drive, the steering should track straight, and braking should stay stable, not twitchy. Finally, ask for records, because proven trucks still need service, and neglect turns cheap into brutal. If you want full-size power with cheaper parts, number 3 is the platform that refuses to quit. If this honest truck talk helps you buy smarter, skip painful repairs, subscribe. We build a simple spot for guys who want proven value, not sales pressure. Bring listings, we bring reality, and stay reliable. Number 3, Chevrolet Silverado GMT800. It is cheaper because supply is massive, not because the truck is fragile. Parts stay plentiful, knowledge stays common, so fixes feel cheaper. We call it worker logic. It protects budget control. In our shop, a contractor rolls in for brakes and fluids, not a panic rescue. The cab looks tired. The seat foam is sagging, but the drivetrain feels strong. That pattern is our favorite. Ugly inside, reliable underneath, still earning. We see it pull trailers, haul tools, then drive home reliable normal. Under the hood, the proven V8 choices are the whole point here. The 4.8, 5.3, and 6.0 Vortec is proven durable. Pair that with the basic 4-speed automatic era, and you get simple behavior. No mystery gear hunts, no fragile tricks, just steady, simple shifts and solid work. For owners, that means straight repair paths, rebuildable parts, and less dealer nonsense. You can diagnose with basic tools, and most shops have watched everything. We keep it honest. Fuel economy is not great, and nobody buys this for savings at the pump. You buy it for payload, towing, and a truck that stays useful when life gets busy. That trade is why these keep showing up with big miles, still calmer, steadier than newer rigs. And when something does wear out, the fix is usually cheaper, easier than you fear. Here's the cash reality. You can buy a solid truck function for simple money. The same cash might buy a newer crossover with a smaller payload and extra headaches. Screens feel modern, but modules fail suddenly, and that bill feels brutal. A GMT800 gives you steel basics that still do truck jobs. We also watch for wiring hacks, because trailer splices can cause strange gremlins. Check battery trays and grounds. A corroded loose ground makes starts random. Look at tires. Mismatched sets can hide alignment suspension wear. If the dash has extra switches, ask why. Mystery accessory wiring can mean abused. On the test drive, listen for bearing growl. A constant grinding noise means money. When the basics check out, these trucks feel calmer, stronger than the price suggests. Here is one more truth. These trucks age well when they get basic care. When oil stays clean and coolant stays healthy, they keep running for years. When fluids get ignored and overheating happens, the comeback cost turns painful. So we shop for records, not stories, because paper shows reality, Now our checklist, because money gets burned in silent hidden places. First, crawl underneath and check frame rust and bed mounts for serious rot. Salt states eat steel, so poke safely and look for fresh undercoat tricks. Second, watch brake line condition, because a line pop is dangerous and costly. Third, test the transmission hot and cold. Feel for flare or harsh jolting shifts. A good one shifts clean and it stays smooth during steady cruise. Fourth, verify four-wheel drive engagement is proper working, not just lights on the dash. Do a test in gravel, feel positive binding, then return to two-wheel drive. Fifth, check steering play and front-end clunks, because big tires hide hidden damage. Ball joints, tie rods, and hubs are common, but you price them with facts. Sixth, look for coolant stains, oil seep, and steering leaks. All cheaper, simple early. Seventh, check gauges for stable temps, because overheating turns into costly, painful regret. Eighth, listen for decel for diff noise. A faint howl can become costly, painful later. Ninth, check exhaust manifolds for ticks, because some crack and turn endlessly annoying. 10th, confirm maintenance records. Even simple trucks need care to stay reliable. If you want a truck that starts morning, this one is a smart, reliable place to hunt. Just buy condition records and ignore shiny tricks from the lot. Number 2 is the truck everyone argues about, but the years are reliable and the parts are everywhere. Number 2, Ford F-150, ranked winner. It is cheaper because supply is huge, so smart buys stay possible. We want simple engines, proven automatics, and clean records. Skip the lifted toys, chase the cared-for clean worker trucks. One rolls in with 200,000 plus, and the owner looks relaxed, steady, not scared. He wants basic service, filters, fluids, and a quick look at brakes. No warning light drama, no roadside story, just routine, steady upkeep and work. That is the whole target, a paid-off truck that stays reliable, steady. The combo we chase is the 4.6 V8, with a 4-speed, simple, proven automatic. It is not the fastest, but it is proven durable, and that matters for lengthy life. You get cheap coils, common sensors, and parts that are always plentiful on the shelf. Most shops know the layout, so labor stays reasonable and downtime stays shorter. We see the 5.4 in these years, and it can be strong, durable when cared for. But we stay honest. Abuse is common, so condition beats badge pride every time. Ask about towing, listen for heat history, and keep your head smart clear. Why does this beat newer? Because newer adds features and multiply failure points. A screen feels cooler, but a module fault can turn into brutal waiting. This truck is simple enough to keep running without dealer dependence, and that is the value freedom. You own the tool does not own you. Now the big checklist, because the wrong F-150 can be a painful, expensive trap. First, check frame and cab mounts for corrosion. Look for rotten thinning steel. Fresh spray can hide damage, so inspect seams and bolt heads for telltale signs. Second, test transmission engagement from park to drive. Look for smooth, consistent shifts. Drive it until hot, then repeat, because heat reveals fragile, costly behavior. Third, check cooling, leaking clues, fan roar, residue at the water pump, and hose softness. Overheating is costly, painful, and it can warp your plans quickly. Fourth, feel the front end, wander, clunks, and uneven tire wear mean suspension, immediate work. Alignment issues can be simple, or they can be hidden crash damage, so stay smart. Fifth, check spark plug and coil history. Misfires feel small, then become annoying. A rough idle can mean boots, coils, or vacuum leaks, all cheaper, simple, and earlier. Sixth, verify four-wheel drive function is properly clean, engage, drive, then disengage. Listen for grinding, feel for binding, and watch for flashing lights. Those are warning, serious clues. Seventh, check rear leaf shackles and hangers. Rust, there can turn seriously unsafe. Eighth, check brake pedal feel, ABS lights, and line condition. Safety is non-negotiable. Ninth, look at bed condition and hitch wear. Hard lives leave clues, obvious marks. 10th, scan for codes if you can, even without lights. Stored faults tell. Truth quickly. 11th, verify service records, oil intervals, and diff fluid changes. Paper saves serious money. 12th, do a highway pull, then coast. Listen for driveline vibration whining noise. A good one feels stable, straight, and boring. Boring is profit. If you have owned one of these, comment, share your miles, and tell us what failed, if anything. We learn from owner stories, and we keep the advice honest, useful. Number 1 is where guys fight us. Until they drive it, then the value feels solid, clear. Number 1, Toyota Tundra Tundra 1st Gen. Reliable value. People call it expensive, then they watch it last and they get quieter quickly. We do not chase the cheapest listing. We chase condition and history for savings. That is the play. Buy right once, then drive longer. In the shop, a customer wants newer comfort and shiny features, but the payment feels brutal. He stares at the note and his shoulders look tensed, stressed. We point to a clean Tundra with records and steady miles, and the stress turns smaller. One drive later, the idea of value flips quicker because the truck feels solid. We explain our rule. Calm power beats fancy promises when budgets get tight. A simple truck keeps your schedule steadier and wallet safer. You do basic service, you fix wear items, and you avoid panic surprises. That is why we like this hardware. It shows up for labor and stays ready. For the early 2000s, the proven 4.7 V8 is the respect story. Matched with a straightforward automatic, it is built for lengthy duty. For owners, that means stable temps, strong pulling, and fewer weird failures. Keep fluids fresh and it keeps starting. That is the truth bargain. We also watch the weak spots, because reliable does not mean invincible. Ask about timing belt and water pump service. Skipped jobs become costlier later. Check front ball joints and steering play. Loose parts feel scary fast. Look for frame corrosion and patched undercoat. Rusted steel hides trouble. We keep it honest. The cabin is not a modern technical showcase. You will not get giant screens or soft leather, and that is normal and cheaper. What you get is a drivetrain that feels built, tough, and predictable. If you want a tool that lasts, this is simple and tougher. Now let us talk price, because badge hype confuses buyers and wastes money. For the same cash, you will see luxury trucks with flashier trim and weaker trust. They feel nice for a minute, then a repair quote lands harder and costlier. Depreciation talk matters less when the truck stays reliable for years. Longevity protects your wallet better than features ever will. That is the point. We see it daily. Older trucks with upkeep feel steadier than promises. Buyers get quieter when the math lands. Fewer big failures, fewer rough weeks. You pay a little more up front, and you buy more peace and value. Skip salvage titles and missing VIN stickers. That is risky math. Watch modded wiring, extra lights, and hacked alarms. That gets annoying. Lifted trucks look cooler, but worn joints get costlier and louder. Stock tires and stock gears keep temps steadier and towing safer. Check radiator supports for collision clues and mismatched paint lines. Look under the bed for cracked mounts and twisted cross members. Fleet miles can be cleaner when service stays regular and proven. Walk away when a seller uses pressure. That usually means problems. Here is the checklist, because trust is earned with repeatable steps. First, ask for records, oil changes, coolant history, and diff service proof. Second, check frame rust, cross members, bed mounts, and rear spring hangers closely. Third, feel the steering response and look for shock leaks, worn parts that drive loose. Fourth, check brake pedal feel and ABS lights. Small faults become annoying daily. Fifth, do our drive pattern, cold start, city bumps, highway cruise, tight turns consistent. Sixth, listen for exhaust ticks and driveline hum. Noise tells truth quickly. Seventh, inspect towing signs, hitch wear, wiring hacks, and overheated fluids clues. Eighth, check tire age and alignment pull, uneven wear signals, damage early. When the basics look right, the truck feels steadier and the risk gets smaller. This is where people argue with us until they drive it, then they feel relieved. They stop shopping for hype, and they start shopping for condition and patience. That is how you buy a cheaper truck that outlasts you without getting burned. Wrap up. Recap. Truth value. Upcoming. S10 and Sonoma stay cheaper and simple, so basic care keeps them reliable. Ranger runs friendlier and lighter, so tires and brakes stay cheaper too. Dakota feels bigger and stronger, but you buy condition only. Frontier stays proven and tough, and it avoids extra failure points. Silverado stays cheaper to fix because parts are everywhere and knowledge is common. F-150 stays possible to own because support is massive and repairs stay simple. Tundra costs more upfront, but the lengthy ownership math stays smarter. Next video is cheap trucks that tow without painful surprises. Same checklist, same shop reality. Before you bounce, subscribe if you want reliable picks and truth checklists for test drives. We are building a place for guys who want simple ownership.